I'm a young guy in my early 30s, just enjoying the days of my prime before I finally settle down. Unfortunately, I also happen to live in a neighborhood ruled by the worst possible curse, an HOA. And not just any HOA. Ours is run by a tyrant named Susan. She's the HOA president, neighborhood gatekeeper, and full-time clipboard goblin who acts like she's auditioning to replace Kim Jong-un. You could sneeze and she'd slap you with a noise violation. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. It had barely been a year since I moved in, and I'd been doing my best to fly under the radar, play nice, and ignore her weekly tantrums disguised as newsletters. But one Thursday, I found a note shoved inside my mailbox. The envelope was thin, but the energy reeked of oppression. It read, open quote, in accordance with Bylaw 14.3 emergency order, all visitors are prohibited between 2:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. until further notice. Any non-residents seen entering during these hours will be documented. Repeat violations will result in fines. Close quote. I blinked. Reread it. 2:30 to 7 p.m.? That's the most random, stupid time for a curfew. Who in their right mind creates a rule that blocks visitors during the exact time people usually come over? But the letter got worse. It said the board had passed it unanimously in a closed emergency session due to recent sightings of unfamiliar individuals loitering on sidewalks. They're called guests, Karen, but I guess that memo didn't make it into your fascist handbook. I live alone. Friends come over. My little brother drops by. My mother visits occasionally. Now she's banned too? The whole thing reeked of power tripping, and something told me this wasn't a real board decision. It felt like a Susan special, dictated from her porch throne with her dog-eared HOA rulebook and Pinot Grigio breath. Still, I didn't react just yet. I was curious. Was I the only one who got the note, or had she unleashed her HOA martial law on the whole community? I decided to pay my neighbors a visit. But deep down, I already knew I wasn't going to take this one lying down. Not this time. Before we dive in deeply, let us know in the comments where you're watching this story from. The first house I knocked on was old Mr. DeLuca's. He peeked through the blinds like I was the FBI, then reluctantly cracked his door open. I asked, "Hey, did you get a weird curfew notice?" His shoulders slumped like I just reminded him of a curse. "Yep," he sighed. "Don't bother fighting it, son. Last time I pushed back on Susan, my wife's garden gnome collection got mysteriously removed for safety reasons." Damn. That explained a lot. 3 more houses confirmed it. Everyone had gotten the same note. Everyone was complying, not because they believed in it, but because Susan had built a reputation for destroying lives with citations and HOA technicalities. People were scared. Hell, someone even told me Susan once sent out fines for improper curtain color coordination. The woman had become a suburban warlord. But the time window still bugged me. 2:30 to 7 p.m.? That's when Amazon delivers. Kids get home from school, friends stop by, and people host early dinners. She didn't even ban overnight guests, just that one afternoon slot. It was surgical, malicious, deliberate. And of course, just my luck. My mom was flying in that Saturday to spend the weekend with me. She was looking forward to it. We had plans. She'd even baked my favorite bread in advance. I wasn't about to tell her she couldn't come because some HOA overlord had a grudge against community happiness. So I took the diplomatic route first. I walked over to Susan's house. I rang the bell, clipboard and all. She stepped out with her signature, "I run this street" energy and gave me a look like I owed her rent. I smiled. "Hi, Susan. Quick one. Is this curfew thing legit? Just making sure it's not a prank or some kind of temporary suggestion?" Her eyes narrowed. "Adhere to the instructions or bear the consequences." She didn't even blink. I blinked for her. "Right. Got it. Very clear." She closed the door like she'd just issued a death sentence. That was it. She'd crossed the line. My mom was coming. My brother was coming too. If Susan wanted to test me, she could bring her clipboard army and golf cart patrol. I wasn't backing down. Saturday rolled in hot and bright, and I woke up energized like it was Judgment Day for Susan. I had cleaned the house, prepped dinner, and even baked a pie. My mom was landing by 1:45 p.m., and I had no intention of giving that tyrant an ounce of power over my day. I even told my brother to swing by around 5 so we could eat together like an actual family. Meanwhile, Susan's HOA patrol had leveled up. Her teenage son and creepy little nephew had started patrolling the neighborhood in branded golf carts. Not kidding, they wore fluorescent vests that said neighborhood integrity monitors. These kids had walkie-talkies, clipboards, and a weird level of joy in writing down plate numbers. Snitches in training. Still, they were kids, nothing to worry about. Around 2:15 p.m., I picked up Mom. As we drove past the front gate, Susan's minions were too busy arguing about who was going to Taco Bell to notice us. Smooth entry. We laughed about it. Inside the house, the vibes were perfect. My mom gushed over the place, complimented my cooking, and told stories about how I used to cry every time I lost at Monopoly. My brother showed up around 5:10 p.m. with ice cream and attitude. Dinner was loud, messy, and beautiful until we stepped outside. There she was, Susan, blocking our cars like a final boss. She stood in the middle of the street, arms crossed, visor pulled low, clipboard in hand like it was an extension of her rage. "You think this is funny?" she snapped. "Inviting outsiders? Violating the emergency protocol I installed to protect this neighborhood?" My brother chuckled. "Emergency? Are we under attack?" My mom, ever the peacemaker, tried to calm things down. "Sorry, ma'am, we were just leaving." Susan turned on her. "You can leave once your son pays his $150 fine for unauthorized visitors and violation of curfew protocol." My blood boiled. I stepped forward, but Karen kept going. "You want to live in a lawless dump? Move. This is my community, and you will not disrespect it." That's when my brother quietly pulled out his phone and started dialing. "Who are you calling?" Susan barked. The second my brother mentioned 911, Susan's whole posture changed, but not in the way a normal person would retreat when they realized they'd gone too far. No, she doubled down. She took a step forward, arms flailing now, and shouted, "I am the law here. You can't call the cops on me. This is a private community." My mom blinked, then stepped back, startled. I placed myself between them as Susan kept barking about bylaws, guest permits, and trespassing relatives. She pointed at my mom's shoes like they were illegal contraband. Then she did the unthinkable. She stood right behind my mother's car, arms wide, and said, "No one's leaving until the fine is paid and these guests are logged in the incident report." "You're detaining us now?" I asked. Dead serious. "You're violating HOA emergency curfew enforcement. I have the authority." She began. That's when the sirens flared in the distance. Susan froze. The smug look started to drain from her face as a cruiser pulled up. Two officers stepped out, one male, one female, and calmly approached. My brother explained everything while I stood with arms folded, and Karen tried interrupting 6 times. She even waved her clipboard like it was a presidential pardon. "I need her arrested," Susan shouted, pointing at my mom. "They are in breach of HOA regulations. They ignored a curfew and endangered the serenity of this neighborhood." The female officer raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, HOA guidelines are not enforceable by law unless they involve actual criminal activity. This is a civil matter. However, you physically blocked her car. That's unlawful detainment." "I, excuse me," Susan shrieked. The officer calmly pulled out her citation pad. "I'm issuing a citation for obstruction, and you're being warned for disorderly conduct." Susan didn't calm down. She threw her clipboard at the ground and yelled, "This is a conspiracy. I'm calling the mayor." Bad move. The male officer stepped in. "That's enough. Hands behind your back, ma'am. You're coming with us." Handcuffs clicked. Neighbors stepped outside with popcorn. Someone filmed it. My mom stared in disbelief as Susan got stuffed into the back seat of the cruiser, still screeching, "This isn't over." It was over. By Monday, the HOA board had suspended Susan pending a formal review. A month later, she was voted out, replaced by someone whose personality didn't resemble a flaming dumpster. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Susan got what she deserved? Comment below.